Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we dive into The Future of the Office by Peter Cappelli, a thought-provoking examination of the traditional workplace and its evolution in the wake of recent global challenges. Published in 2021, this insightful book leverages research, real-world anecdotes, and case studies to explore how businesses have adapted to the pandemic and what these changes could mean for our work lives moving forward. Peter Cappelli, a renowned expert in employment trends and the George W. Taylor Professor of Management at the Wharton School, directs Wharton's Center for Human Resources. His work, including titles such as Will College Pay Off and Why Good People Can't Get Jobs, has made significant contributions to our understanding of the modern workforce and its fluctuations. The Future of the Office is essential reading for a wide audience. Whether you're a white-collar worker curious about the permanence of remote work, a manager weighing the benefits and drawbacks of revamping the traditional office space, or simply a forward thinker intrigued by how one of the most fundamental elements of our work life is being reshaped by global events, this book offers valuable insights and perspectives. Join us as we explore the unique opportunities presented for reimagining the nature of our workspaces and practices, potentially altering the landscape of professional environments forever. The Future of the Office: Work from Home, Remote Work, and the Hard Choices We All Face. Introduction: Redefining Work, from Google's Paradise to Pandemic Shifts. Once upon a time, Google defined the dream office, complete with gourmet meals, spaces for naps, and a pet-friendly policy. The message was clear: work here, be here, and above all, enjoy being here. Fast forward to 2021, and the scene at Google, and indeed across much of the professional world, has dramatically shifted. A staggering 40% of Google's workforce has embraced new working models, splitting between permanent remote work and a hybrid approach that blends in office presence with the freedom to work from anywhere for a month each year. The catalyst for this seismic change: the global COVID-19 pandemic. As the virus swept across the globe, it unraveled traditional notions of the workplace, pushing companies to reconsider what it means to work effectively. Google, maintaining its forward-thinking ethos, readily adapted to these changes, whereas other employers have navigated this new terrain with more hesitation. The story of this shift is not just about logistics and working models. It's a narrative rich with insight into how we work best, what the future of the office might look like, and the broader implications for workers and companies alike. In this exploration, we delve into the heart of the transformation triggered by the pandemic years, a period of disruption certainly, but also of unexpected revelation and opportunity. Let's embark on a journey through these pivotal moments, unwrapping the lessons learned and envisioning the future that lies ahead for the contemporary office. A future where the impact of our choices now will resonate deeply in the fabric of work culture for years to come. Part 1. Lessons learned from the Great Remote Work Experiment. Picture this: April 2020. With the world gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic, an ABC reporter delivers the news from his living room. In a candid moment at the segment's conclusion, viewers discover he's opted for business on top, pajamas on the bottom. Far from career-ending, this moment of humanity is met with amusement worldwide, signaling a profound shift in workplace norms and expectations. This incident epitomized the beginning of a widespread acceptance of the blending of personal and professional lives in ways previously unimaginable. As the pandemic stretched on, visions of temporary adjustments faded and a new reality took hold. Initially, businesses battened down the hatches, bracing for a short-lived storm. The sentiment was that this would pass in a matter of weeks. However, as days turned to months, companies were forced to reckon with a more permanent transformation of the work landscape. From Marriott International implementing drastic employee pay cuts to tech giants like Microsoft shuttering their offices for the foreseeable future, the professional world was in uncharted waters. The forced migration to remote work for many heralded surprising findings. There was an overwhelming positive response from the workforce. Job satisfaction soared, productivity blossomed, and the virtual meeting landscape proved fertile for efficiency. It appeared the elimination of commutes and the flexibility to tailor work schedules around personal lives had unleashed a potent productivity boost. Evenings became a productive work period for many, particularly parents who juggled daytime childcare with professional responsibilities. Meetings, that staple of office life, underwent a transformation. The ubiquity of video conferencing tools turned what were often protracted gatherings into shorter, more focused exchanges. Companies reported not just a spike in the number of meetings, but a leap in their effectiveness too. What we glean from this grand remote work experiment is illuminating. The pandemic revealed that not only is remote work feasible on a grand scale, but it can also yield significant benefits for both employees and employers alike. However, this doesn't imply a one-size-fits-all solution. The productivity and satisfaction gains hinge on how remote work is implemented and integrated into a company's culture. As the pandemic recedes into the rearview mirror, the remote work model transitions from a crisis response to a viable, permanent option. It prompts us to think differently about our work lives, challenging long-held beliefs about productivity, workplace setup, and the separation, or lack thereof, between our professional and personal lives. The future is not just about where we work, but how we work, redefining success in the post-pandemic world. Part 2. Navigating the new terrain of remote work with strategic considerations. Imagine reading a headline that proclaims the end of the traditional office commute, suggesting a future where work can be done from anywhere. You might think it's a modern reaction to the recent pandemic, but astonishingly, such a statement graced the pages of the Washington Post back in 1969. From the smog-induced telecommuting wave in 1970s Los Angeles to today's digital nomad, the concept of remote work isn't new. However, as it cements itself as a permanent fixture in our work culture, we must delve into some critical questions. First and foremost, consider the dynamic of office presence. Working from home can inadvertently create a lag in receiving new information, dilute co-worker relationships, and obscure employees from the radar of promotion and recognition. Especially problematic if only a select few are remote and the rest are on site. Another pivotal inquiry is about the nature of the tasks undertaken remotely. Ideal remote work often involves independent tasks that don't necessitate constant collaboration. Yet this independence might also expose these positions to outsourcing risks. When collaboration is essential, remote work presents unique challenges in communication and project management, potentially leading to misunderstandings or a breakdown in team cohesion. The aspect of supervision in a remote setting cannot be overlooked. Remote work demands a re-evaluation of managerial approaches, where newer supervisors might surprisingly thrive due to their adaptability and openness to less traditional oversight methods. The question of how a supervisor handles remote management speaks volumes about the potential success of such arrangements. This leads to a crucial point of introspection regarding how your employer perceives and administers remote work. The implementation of rigorous surveillance tools may hint at an underlying mistrust that could overshadow the benefits of working from home. Conversely, a company that delineates clear performance metrics and embraces a trust-based approach is likely to foster a more positive remote working environment. As we explore these considerations, we realize they pave the way to understanding and navigating the evolving landscape of remote work. With these strategic questions as our guide, we are better equipped to harness the full potential of remote work, not just as a temporary adjustment, but as a permanent and enriching aspect of our professional lives. Part 3. Exploring the spectrum of hybrid work models. Gone are the days when proximity to the office equated to job security and career advancement, a dynamic vividly illustrated by Facebook's transition from incentivizing close to office residencies to embracing a broader, more geographically diverse talent pool. This significant shift underscores a burgeoning era of workplace flexibility, spurred by the realization that talent knows no boundaries and that the future of work may very well lie in hybrid models. As we stand at the crossroads of this evolution, two primary hybrid work structures emerge, each harboring unique implications for both employees and employers. The first of these models is the two-tier system. Picture a workplace divided into two distinct classes, the traditional office-bound employee and the modern remote worker. This model fosters a clear demarcation between those who physically inhabit the office space and those who connect digitally from afar. Remote workers in this model enjoy a degree of independence akin to that of contractors, yet they often find themselves on the periphery of the company's heartbeat, distant from direct managerial oversight, internal networking opportunities, and the informal knowledge exchanges that lubricate the gears of career progression. From an employer's standpoint, the two-tier system is financially attractive. It promises significant cost savings on real estate, utilities, and other incidental expenses tied to maintaining a physical workplace. However, the potential oversight required to manage remote employees effectively can introduce an additional layer of complexity. Conversely, the choose-your-own model epitomizes flexibility, entrusting employees with the autonomy to tailor their work location to their personal preferences and life demands. This approach resonates strongly with the workforce, offering a blend of freedom and the opportunity to maintain connections within the office ecosystem. However, its appeal is matched by its administrative challenges. Instituting this model on a formal, equitable basis requires careful policy crafting to ensure it doesn't unwittingly perpetuate biases or create scheduling conundrums. Imagine the logistical puzzle of managing office occupancy when everyone prefers to work on-site, midweek, and remotely as the weekend approaches. Despite these hurdles, solutions such as predetermined office days or team-based scheduling algorithms present viable pathways to navigate the complexities inherent in this model. The art of flex time, negotiating work schedules within teams, emerges as a practical tool for reconciling individual preferences with operational needs. As organizations worldwide grapple with the decision between these two hybrid models, the fulcrum of this choice revolves around a balance of employer objectives and employee desires. The transition to either model, however, is not without its tribulations. Delicate planning and an empathetic, inclusive approach are prerequisites to harnessing the potential of these hybrid work arrangements. As we inch towards the conclusion of this exploration, the spotlight turns to managers and leaders, the architects of this new work order. Their considerations and decisions in the coming period will shape not just the physical landscape of work, but the very culture and soul of their organizations. Part 4. Seizing the Moment. The pivotal shift towards remote work. In an era defined by sudden shifts and unprecedented challenges, Clorox emerged not just as a beacon of industrious success amidst the pandemic, but as a visionary in redefining the workplace. At the heart of its strategic pivot was the transformation of its Oakland headquarters. The overhaul wasn't merely cosmetic, it marked a profound shift in philosophy, from traditional office-centric spaces to dynamic, remote-friendly environments. By focusing on enhancing connections with remote workers and fostering a symbiotic relationship between those on-site and those logging in from afar, Clorox demonstrated a commitment to valuing every member of its workforce equally. This approach wasn't just about surviving the present, it was about thriving in the future. As Winston Churchill wisely pointed out, the midst of crisis presents a rare opportunity for transformation. With the pandemic serving as a catalyst, the traditional office's necessity came into question. challenging long-standing corporate habits and norms. This moment of upheaval offers a canvas for reimagining how we work. But what factors must we consider to ensure we grasp this opportunity fully? Central to this reinvention is the culture of an organization. The digital workplace necessitates a new approach to embedding company values and norms. Without the organic learning that occurs through in-person interactions, companies must pivot towards more deliberate cultural transmission mechanisms. This includes robust hiring and training programs explicitly designed to convey organizational culture and values, highlighting the importance of recruiting not just for skill, but for cultural alignment as well. Moreover, the shift to remote work demands a re-evaluation of performance appraisals. The informal, visibility-based assessments that prevailed in pre-pandemic times are no longer viable. Employers must develop mechanisms for more frequent check-ins and devise appraisal systems that measure outcomes rather than hours spent at a desk. This transition may also necessitate a shift in how wages and bonuses are determined, posing challenges in maintaining transparency and fairness in compensation. Further complexities arise when considering career advancement opportunities for remote workers. The reality is, remote work inherently limits exposure to the informal networks and opportunities that often pave the way for promotion. Companies must recognize this discrepancy and strive to create clear pathways for advancement that do not disadvantage remote workers. In essence, the organizations that emerge strongest post-pandemic will be those that adapt most adeptly to these new paradigms. They will be the ones that recognize remote work not as a temporary workaround, but as an integral part of their operational and cultural DNA. As we chart this unexplored territory, the lessons learned and the adjustments made today will delineate the landscape of work for generations to come, making it essential that we do not let this unique opportunity slip through our grasp. Final summary. The sweeping impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on global work culture marks a pivotal chapter in the history of the workplace. As we navigate through the aftermath, we're presented with an unparalleled chance to redefine the essence of white-collar work, transforming it in ways that could foster a more flexible, inclusive, and productive work environment than ever before. However, the pathway to realizing this vision is fraught with challenges and requires more than just passive acceptance of remote work as a viable alternative. The key to unlocking the full potential of remote work lies in intentional management and well-conceived onboarding practices. This includes cultivating a work environment where employees feel connected and valued regardless of their physical location. The essence of trust becomes paramount. It's about believing in the capacity of your team to deliver, sans the constant oversight. In this evolved work setting, the traditional roles of supervisors and managers take on new dimensions. It's crucial for them to foster a sense of cohesion and ensure that employees don't just feel like remote satellites, but integral parts of a harmonious whole. Adopting performance-based evaluations rather than time-centric metrics will be essential in maintaining a culture of accountability and motivation. As we inch towards a semblance of normalcy, businesses and their leaders are confronted with strategic decisions that will shape the future of the workplace. Whether it means returning to the traditional office model, embracing remote work wholly, or finding a middle ground with hybrid models, these choices will carve out the blueprint of the modern office landscape. This juncture is more than just a reactionary shift. It's a rare opportunity to reimagine and reinvent. The contemporary office is on the brink of transformation, and our actions today will dictate the work environment for future generations. As we stand on the precipice of this new era, one question remains. Are we ready to embrace the future of the office? Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.